Hey there, crafty friends. It's Tina the Scrappin' Rabbit. Thanks so much for stopping by today. In this video, I'm going to be creating a coffee-themed card featuring this adorable digital image from the Not Too Shabby Shop called Somebody Bring Me Coffee, as well as some simple stenciling techniques. So let's get started. I'm going to color up this cutie using some Copic markers, outlining with the E31 being my darkest color. I'm just kind of framing his little face. He is such a cutie patootie. I'll be blending out with the E53 and then going in with the next lightest color, the E51. I love the digital stamps that you can create any size that you want. Sometimes my printer is a little bit fussy, but I was able to get some good printouts with this and very minimal smudging. The lightest color in my blend here is E51. Once I get that first coat down, I'm going to go in there with a second round of color, repeating the same order of coloring, starting with that E31 to frame the image, and then going in from the next lightest color, the E53, blending out again with the E51, and then again the last lightest color in my blend will be the E50. And I love this little color blend for a nice little honey brown colored bunny, which is going to fit perfectly with my coffee themed card. I'm going to go ahead and color in the little paws as well as the body, doing the same exact colors in the same exact order, going in from dark to light and blending it out so that I can have a nice smooth and soft blend. Now for the little tummy, I plan on keeping the tummy and the feet and the paws. They're going to be a contrasting color. Maybe I think I'm going to do white with the warm grays. And then once I get that first layer of color, I'm going to go in again and do a second layer just like I did for the face and the ears. For the little cheeks and the little toes and the little tummy, I'm starting out with the warm gray, the W1. I'll blend out with the W0, and then my lightest color in that blend will be the W00. And then I can't forget that little cottontail. For the cheeks, I'm going to use the RV00 and blend that out with the RV000. And now I'm just touching up my coloring a little bit. Some of the color went out of the lines, and so I just get my 0 and clean that up. For the nose, I'm going in with a darker pink, the R83, R81, and then blending out with the RV00. For the ears, doing a different pink, the R30, blending out with the RV00, the RV0000, and then adding some of that warm gray in there as well. For the coffee cup, I'm going to use the cool grays for the white lid, as well as the actual cup. And I'm just going really light with the C0 and the C00. Now for the little band around the center, I'm going to go in with my E40s. I start out with the E43, the E42 and the E41, but then decide that I want to go a bit darker, and then I add that E44. Moving on to the inked stenciled background, I'm going to first lay down some color using the Distress ink in the Tattered Rose. And I like my little mini cubes, and for me it's pretty therapeutic doing the inking. I just love the color blends that you get. It does take a little bit of time, so you just want to keep adding until you get the color that you want. And for me it's about 3 layers of that Tattered Rose. Then I'm going to blend that out with the spun sugar, and it's a really nice transition from that rose going into the spun sugar. And then I'm just going to bring that color through about 2/3 of my card so that it kind of fades a little bit dark to light, but it's not a very dark color. It's a pretty subtle fade, a pretty subtle ombre looking transition, but I really love the way that this turned out. And this is just to give a little undercolor for the actual stencil that I'm going to use, which is a coffee bean stencil. So I'm going to adhere it down with some of my painter's tape, which is the tape that I like to use to hold my stencils in place. And once I get that down and secure, I'm going to get my blender brush with the the vintage photo and go in over the edges and then blend it out using the tea dye. So taking that color of the tea dye from the vintage and then bringing it over and then fading it towards the center of the card. And it really turned out so pretty. I printed the sentiment onto some vellum. Now, I couldn't print it directly onto my Bristol Smooth because it's quite a thick cardstock. So to have that stamped look, you can also print your sentiments out with digital images onto some vellum and then put that across your card. I cut it down into a strip and I'm just going to wrap it around my card layer and then adhere it down using some double-sided Scotch tape. And then once I have that down, I realize that it's a little bit crooked, and because I want it to straighten up, I use this little spatula tool that I have, and it is perfect for getting up any kind of adhesive, including liquid glue, and it pulls it up nice and smooth, and then I can readjust and get that lined up the way that I need it. For my card base, I'm going to use a top folding Nina Desert Storm cardstock and use some of my Barely Arts liquid glue to get that top panel down. I also like to use my bone folder to smooth that out. And I do like the liquid glue because it helps me get everything centered. For my little bunny, I'm going to pop it up on some of this double-sided adhesive foam tape. I'd like to give it good coverage in case I'm sending this through the mail. I don't want there to be any kind of bending or folding of my stamped image. So now it's going to lay there just perfectly flat onto my card, and I'm just going to go ahead and press it down and center it on there. And then now it's just time for the finishing touches, which I'm just going to adhere some of these iridescent sequins. They have a little bit of a pink reflection on it, which is perfect to bring out the pink in my stenciled background. Once I have those 3 sequins randomly placed across my card, I am finished, and that completes my card. I hope you enjoyed this process video. This stenciling technique can be used with many different styles of stencils. This coffee theme is one that I absolutely adore, and the links are in the description box, so I hope that you'll go ahead and check out the goodies at the Not Too Shabby Shop. There's also a discount code for you to use as well. Thanks again for stopping by. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye for now.